by accident, not really realizing when I first saw the title to the song, I don't know, a year or so ago, whenever it was, and I said, wow, that's kind of funny. And Ed Roman, Red Omen. I sort of, and I didn't realize that I had stumbled onto the origin of the song and the story that went behind it, which we thank you for sharing with us, Ed. Thank you so much. Do come back and see us again.
Absolutely, and thank you, gentlemen, both you, David and John, for having me on and letting me able to talk about my craft.
Our pleasure. Thank you, Ed.
Pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Roman. This will be available October 1st. Here it is for the first time in the world, Happiness.
1,
Happiness. It will be available October 1st. That's Ed Roman here on the David Bowers Awards. Next up, before I get to our next guest, I want to take just a second to mention something that I didn't mention while he was on, because I got so interested in what he was saying. Ed was either involved in or hosting kind of a family reunion with his family from all over upstate New York and Canada, and he was gracious enough to spend 15 minutes or so with us here today, and I want to thank him so much for that, and thank his family for putting up with us, taking him away from the gathering. Thank you so much, Ed. Next up, we have another surprise for you. An old friend of ours is back. We've got a tune by him, and then we're going to do something really different. Stick around. I know you'll want to be a part of this. Mr. David Martinez, and here from his current album, Piece of Me, is a tune called Rise.
the dark, left your heart crushed on the floor. You took a chance, you gave it all that you had, even though it makes you feel like there's nothing left. You will rise, you will rise, you will rise, you will rise, you will rise.
Rise. That's David Martinez, and here he is right now, folks. Welcome, if you would, please, Mr. David Martinez. Hello, David.
Hey, how you doing, Dave and John?
Doing great. So great to have you back
We're
here.
doing great.
It's been way
it's
too
been a while.
long. I mean, David, for those of you not familiar with it, David usually is here every year during South by Southwest to tell us what's going on with that big pageantry down in Austin. And, of course, with the pandemic, he hasn't been able to do that. And because of various other things on his schedule, he hasn't gotten back to tell us what's going on since. So we want to give you a chance. Tell us what you've been doing besides waiting to be back on the show. What have you been doing to keep busy?
Well, I mean, I've still been gigging. I've still been doing my regular job, which is teaching math. And, I'm a married man now, so...
Yes, you are. Congratulations.
Thank you. Making sure, that I spend quality time with my wife. We were both single people for a long time, and now we're both very codependent on each other.
As one that has been married for almost 39 years now, David, that codependency just gets more and more intense, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. So, I hope that you guys live a long and happy and prosperous life together.
And also, I'm sure you knew I lost my mother in May, which was
no, we didn't. I'm sorry to hear that.
It wasn't the COVID though, but a lot of people thought it was. But anyway, so she was always a big believer in what I did, and between that, and the pandemic and all that, I haven't been able to make a new record. But my plan is for 2021. Whether this pandemic gets stronger or goes away, I don't think it's going to go away completely, but I think COVID's always going to be part of the landscape. I plan on, recording some new music. There's a guy named Rick Holefield who lives here in Corpus Christi, and he retired. He lived in Los Angeles, out in the Los Angeles area for his whole life, and he came down to Corpus Christi, and he really liked the landscape out here, and he could get a house at a very affordable cost, compared to California. So, right. But I just get into it. He's a songwriter, and I remember I was doing a workshop one time, and we totally clicked. So I'll come with an idea, and I'm going to play you a new song today that we both wrote. So it's got a funny story to it too, which is hilarious. But I've got I think we've written between 10 and 15 new songs together. So
wow.
So it's been a good collaboration.
Fantastic. That's great. Yeah, I know that. First off, let me express our condolences on the loss of your mother. I know how hard that can be. I've been down that road myself, as has John. So it's something that sadly we must all face at one time in our lives. I understand how you feel, and I feel for you, David. I want to
appreciate that.
I want to mention that I have been getting reports of you popping up all over the San Antonio area. I have my spies down there that tell me that, hey, David Martinez is over here this weekend. And, of course, Cindy keeps us posted with what you're doing from Cindy from Lady Lake Music. We've been talking about getting you back here on the show, and she keeps telling me you don't have any new music. And I said, well, bring the old music. But what we have today, thank you very much, David, is a special treat for the folks because we're going to be doing something that we have never done on the David Bowers Awards before. And I'm looking forward very much. David mentioned a new song that he's going to be introducing to us. And David is going to, hopefully, if nothing goes wrong, David is going to do the song live on the show. You're not going to hear the recorded version. You're going to hear the live version. And he's going to do it for us when we get through chatting with him here today. Now, you've got to be a local celebrity in San Antonio.
It's Corpus Christi, Texas.
I mean Corpus. I'm sorry, wrong. Right state, wrong city.
Well, we're relative. Well, I've got a lot of connections, all over the country. I did it the hard way. I went and toured the country first instead of building roots in Texas. But I've built roots in Texas over the last, since I've been playing live. So I know a lot of people. I haven't really been able to get out of town due to the pandemic, but
Right.
I think me and my wife are actually going to get out of town here in a couple of weeks to have an intersession where I'm off. So get back out there to the hill country. It's the hill country in Texas is it consists of like Fredericksburg, Bernie, all these little towns, and it's rich in music. I mean, Austin. I haven't made my way to Austin, but I have been playing Austin with, like you said, with South by Southwest, but I haven't been back because they're very stringent on their. They want people to show vaccine cards and all that, and Austin's very different from other parts of Texas. But over there in the hill country, there's a lot of the music's coming back, and you got to be careful all the time. I mean, you got to be careful.
Sure.
I mean, I've been a teacher for 20 plus years. Kids, I love kids, but they, one of them's going to be sick, and you got to just protect yourself, no matter what.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there, and I guess I probably don't have any spies in Corpus Christi anymore after mistakenly saying San Antonio. But hey, listen, I haven't gotten to spend a lot of time in Texas, but I have gone through there several times, and I love the state. I wish I had some time to get back, and I'd love to get down to wherever you are, whether it's Corpus or somewhere else. I understand Corpus is a beautiful city with the island out there on the coast and everything, and I'd really like to get down there and see that sometime. What, besides getting around to the hill country in Texas, what are your longer range plans now? Obviously you're going to do more music. You've got to work on an album next year. Got any plans to go back out on tour?
Well, I plan to get back on the road and do something. I don't know if you remember 2019 before the pandemic hit. Cindy had been setting up some. She wanted to set some events up around the country. So I went to Boston in June of 2019 and played at City Winery with Linda Marks and Lori Diamond and Fred. I can't pronounce Fred's last name, Bertelli, I think. And that was a great event. And if you're familiar with the City Winery, it is a prestigious venue, and they have one in Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Nashville, Chicago. And I think they have plans. There's a few of them, but that was one of the things about getting out. So hopefully, once this whole craziness ends, we can get back to doing some showcases around the country with Cindy, as well as me traveling, around.
Sure.
My wife eventually, she said, I would love, because she loves to travel. She said, I would love to get in our